do when you face such a time as this? Will you choose to do the right thing as opposed to what might give you some personal benefit? Esther shows all of us the way, and we can be inspired by her example, what she did. She didn't live in her comfort zone. She took the courage, she took the risk, and she did the right thing. And you all know the story of Joseph, right? Are you all with me so far? I'm coming to a conclusion now. Joseph, being faithful to God, he brought as a slave to Egypt, and he began to work at Potiphar's palace or house. Potiphar's wife had an eye on Joseph. The Bible says Joseph is beautiful. I mean, he is good looking. So Potiphar's wife put an eye on Joseph. When Potiphar is not at home, she asked Joseph to come and lie with her, to commit sin. You know what Joseph said? No. He said no. That no caused Joseph to go to prison, but eventually the purpose of God accomplished in Joseph's life. Can you imagine if Joseph might have said yes to Potiphar's wife, what would have happened? Eventually he would have been killed, put to death. After everything was done, Potiphar's wife was happy with him. Eventually somebody's going to come to know, not only attempting, he's doing, he's going to put to death. But the courage Joseph had, saying no. What about the other story? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the three Hebrew Jews, the Hebrew children, said no to worship the golden image of the king. They were put to the fiery furnace. You know what happened? Let me read this one. You know what happened when they said no? This is very... Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the three Hebrew children had courage to say no to worship the king's golden image. God, in all his power and majesty, went down to walk through the fire with them. Isn't that wonderful? Give praise to God. God, in all his power and majesty, went through the fire to walk with these three Hebrew children. Do we have the courage to say no to drugs? Do we have the courage to say no to pornography? Do we have the courage to say no to gossip? Do we have the courage to say no to all the addictions? Oh, that's politically correct. No, we shouldn't say those things. Just mind your own business. No, such a time as this, you brought to this situation for a purpose. You think yourself as an ordinary person, but you are with an extraordinary mission. God wants to accomplish an extraordinary mission through you. Imagine Esther. Esther was an orphan girl. God brought her for such a time as this. When you look at yourself, Pastor Vicky, look at me. I'm already tired. I'm already dying. How could God use me? Why don't you ask that question to God? God, do you think that you brought me for such a time as this? What do you want me to do? When you ask Him, I'm sure He would reveal your mission in this season. There is a reason for this season in your life. One final thought. Do you know what's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary? Ordinary and extraordinary. What is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary? You would ask me how to spell it, but the only difference is that little extra. Ordinary, extraordinary. The difference is little extra. What is that little extra God is asking you to do? The four principles I have just mentioned: obedience, and then prayer. Know that God has a plan, that means the faith. And the last one is have courage. Obedience and have courage. In between is prayer and faith. That little God is asking you is, the extra is, have faith in God. Have faith in God. Maybe you are the Esther. As I just said, if I don't teach my kids, then I see the little kids in Holly. If we don't teach our little kids in Holly, if we don't raise Esthers, who will raise Esthers? Stop worrying about what others will think of you. You continue to pursue the purpose. Ordinary lives with extraordinary mission. Ordinary lives in Providence County. Ordinary people in this southeastern and western Kansas with an extraordinary purpose. There is a reason for your season.